Okay, we now come to the part of the minor texture packs, and the difference mostly with these is that these will actually cover a lot of things, but they are not as huge as the other foundation packs, the foundation texture packs, if we can call them that way. So these are also downloaded and installed pretty fast, and without further ado, I would say let's open up a couple of them. So let's say the first 5 or something. We have first Underground and Dungeon Texture Overhaul. Download the FOMOD, the main version. For this Nordic Runes texture, download the, let's see, Ultra Quality, because indoor locations are very performance friendly, and pretty much all systems should be able to handle 4K quality in indoor locations. So make sure to download that as well. Let me put my phone on silence. The next one is the Gecko's Dwarven Runes texture. Download the main file only here. Then we have the CC's HQ Mines Redone. There's also only one main file, and Skyland also seems to have one main file. So that's relatively easy. Make sure to add them the same way. So the first mod comes with an options form. Let's see what this mod asks us to install. Let's just install everything, and I also here correct the file name, click on install. Alright, and then we can proceed adding the other texture mods, and as you can see, these are a lot faster than the larger foundation texture packs. So then we have the Nordic Runes and Ultra Quality. Click on manual. Cool, activate that mod. Then we have the Dwarven Runes manual textures. These mods have been packed correctly, so thumbs up to the author. The Mines Redone, and we want maximum quality here as well, because this is also mostly indoor locations. And indoor locations, again, are very performance friendly, and for that 4K textures really look good. But 2K is fine enough as well. If you really don't want to take any risk, you can pick 2K, but I promise you, you will be fine for indoor locations to pick 4K textures. Then Skyland was the last mod we did download so far. Yeah, okay. So click manual, set this as your data directory, and then press OK. And it comes with an ESP, so make sure to check it. It's being placed in the last place in the load order for now. I actually completely forgot something to tell you guys. You should actually place random alternate start at the bottom of your load order. I'm not really sure why it's... I think it has something to do because the random alternate start needs some main ESPs to load first, because else it might cause problems. But after you have installed every part, you need to drop it at the bottom of the load order. But I have to say, I did test my Skyrim. I did start it up with random alternate start in its original load order, and it should have worked. So, but from now on, please don't forget to do that, but I will make sure to remind you guys of that as well. So okay, that's the first part of these minor textures. We have a couple of more. Let's just open them all. So this mod, Fluffy Snow, Massy Bridge, Astral Aspect, Stunning Statues, and Mara 2K 4K. This one looks great. These textures from these runes retexture. I think these are in Downguard, if I'm not mistaken. Download the main file. We have Fluffy Snow. Download the 2K version of that, because yeah, it just looks cool, and we have a lot of snow, and usually the areas in Skyrim where we have snow are not really crowded. There are not much meshes there, and for that your system can, or your system should be able to handle these 2K textures for snow. Then this mod we did install earlier, but maybe you remember that I said we need to install a file from this, and that's Massy Bridge, because it needs to be placed there because of the load order of specific textures. Because if we would install it directly, it would have been overwritten by other mods. But now is the time to download this file only, Massy Bridge. So don't download this file again, we already did do that. So only Massy Bridge. Then Astral Aspect, 4K Standing Stones, really cool. Sorry about that. We want a 4K version because these standing stones are very rare, and if you finally see some, then it's nice to have some in 4K, so they have very little impact on your game running. Stunning Statues of Skyrim, click Files, download the installer. And this is, by the way, a very long procedure to install them, from what I could remember. And then the last mod is Mara 2K 4K Retexture. Let's see. Here are some examples how these versions look. I think I have the full saturation version. Yep. And download what you like. It should not matter that much. Then let's add those last couple of minor mods as well. So this one, let's see. Did I really download? So number 6 is. That should be. I'm gonna double check if the file name is called like that. Yeah, okay, great. Then just add that mod as well. Click manual. Click OK. The mod has been packed correctly. Then number 7 is Fluffy Snow, and as you can see, it's really handy and nice to have these numbering so you know exactly where you are in your mod installation order. Click OK. This comes with an options form, it seems. Oh no, it does not. Okay. Then number 8 is Mossy Bridge. So this is the optional part from the what is it? The mod of Mysterious Dawn HD. So we want to click on manual, press OK for the Mossy Bridge, and I think these are actually textures and meshes. No, only textures. Good. Only textures are good because then they won't interfere with other meshes. We have Astral Aspects 2K version. Click manual, and I'm not sure why FOMOD is here. You can actually just uncheck that and leave the meshes and textures there. Click on OK. Okay, and that's it. Then let's see. The number 10 is Statues of Skyrim. Yeah, so we're going to have a long list, I think. So let's see, we have to pick all these individual statues because we want these overalls, we want to have these overalls, all of them. So yeah, this is going to take a little bit longer because it's going to ask for every freaking statue what kind of textures you would like, which is great for optimization, but I just would rather have one recommended installation option as an additional option. So we want the HD meshes, and we want to have. Yeah, what I want to say, this is pretty much your preference, what you like. You can see some comparison screenshots, but I'm just going to randomly pick sometimes options because I don't really care that much. But it's up to you again. Pick what you like, what you prefer. It's your game after all. If you can, by the way, pick Ultra HD Mesh. I would definitely recommend to do that. And yeah, pick what you like. But I'm going to quickly select my preferences. For lava texture, sure, this one. EMB, for this one you want to have EMB HD Mesh and Winterhold textures 4K. Click next. HD Mesh Clavinius 2K, HD Mesh 4K, HD Mesh 2K, HD Mesh Mara 2K. I think we have Mara actually installed after this, so in that case we shouldn't have selected this one, but let's just click none. Then click maybe the HD Mesh, then click next. No, let's not do that, in order else it might interfere with the other mod Mara 2K. Then click next, click HD Mesh and select the 2K version, and you like the 4K in this one. Skyforge or Skyforge Steel, I'm going for the regular Skyforge 4K. For the Falmer statue, I'm going for Falmer 4K, Sovngarde HD, Sovngarde 4K, and click install. Finally, that's this mod then. Okay, then make sure to activate this mod, of course. And then we have Mara, so I unchecked it at the, you could have unchecked it at the previous mod, but it doesn't really matter that much, because this is probably only a, yeah, it's a good thing we did disable it, because else we might have interference with 2 different meshes. So set data directory, press OK. Cool. So that's everything I think so far for this part. Minor texture packs, yep. So yeah, that's everything so far for this part. Alright, time for the next part, and we're going to actually choose a weather mod to begin, and later on we're going to pick a matching EMB with it. And oh man, I did just recorded this entire part already, but then I noticed that the microphone volume was set to very low in Windows for some reason, and it's very unfortunate because this is quite a long part in regarding of waiting times. But anyway, I need to do this again, so I'm going to do that, of course, no problem. Nowadays in 2019, especially since we're reaching the end of 2019, for me there are two best combinations are either Cathedral Weathers and Semi-Realist EMB, and Obsidian Weathers and Omnius EMB. And you can compare those two combinations because I did create videos for them in the past. But also here in the screenshots, you can find some examples of it. But to be honest, my favorite combination now is Obsidian Weathers and Omnius EMB. And both EMBs have been created by Fireman AF, the author of the Skyrim SE Re-Engaged EMB, which is the most popular and best EMB created according to Skyrim Nexus. So Fireman AF really knows what he's doing, but the Omnius EMB is his newest, his latest one, and in my opinion, this is definitely the most atmospheric EMB I might have ever seen in game. So, an example, this screenshot is from there, this one is from Omnius EMB, this one is very atmospheric, and also this one is. So, yeah, for that, in my opinion, there it's such a atmospheric mod, and I'm going to continue the tutorial with Cathedral Weathers and Omnius EMB. If you really prefer an example on a different weather mod like this one, Cathedral Weathers, which is for Semi-Realist EMB, you can pick that as well. But again, I'm going to continue with Obsidian Weathers. So let's open up all these mods. Cathedral Weathers, Ethereal Clouds, Skyrim Textures Redone, Smooth Sky Mesh, Obsidian Mountain Fogs, and let's do it until there. Download from Obsidian Weathers and Seasons, the main file only. We're not going to use True Storms. And then from Ethereal Clouds, big files, download the 2K version because we're watching the sky a lot in game. It's in the name Skyrim, so download that high quality 2K version. For this one, download the main file, and if you really don't want the Nebula, you can also download the patch, but I'm going for the main file only. Smooth Sky Mesh, download the main file, and Obsidian Mountain Fog, only download this if you're not going to use Obsidian Weathers. An example, if you're going to pick Cathedral Weathers, then you need to download it. But for this tutorial, I'm going to download Obsidian Weathers, and that already includes Obsidian Mountain Fog. So let's install all these mods till there, starting with Obsidian Weathers. Click Manual, press OK, activate the mod. Number 2 is Ethereal Clouds. Click Manual, set this as your data directory, press OK. Great. The third mod is the Night Sky, and here select all 4K options because the performance impact is not that super high, and 4K just looks good when you have some night sky, and it's it's something nice to look at. So that's what we're going to pick here. Great. And then the last part is Smooth Sky Mesh. Set this as your data directory, press OK, and activate the mods. And then again, Obsidian Mountain Fox, only install this if you're not using Obsidian Weathers, but we have it, so we don't need to install this. Then we can close all these mods so far, and here's the thing, this mod Red Rocks 4K, this is a mountain / rocks overhaul, and the thing is that this mod has now offline for some reason. But you can go to my Discord channel and then go to the page where you see the hidden Skyrim SE hidden files, and I will make sure that it is online there, so you can download it there, even while this is offline officially on Nexus. And if you prefer a different mod, like an example Majestic Mountains, which is also a cool mountain mod, and that's probably online still, be careful because that mod also adds new meshes for the mountains, and those can, from my own experience, cause some issues with terrain, flickering, and incompatibility, and in worst case scenario, when the stuff are getting really interfering with each other, it might crash your game. That's why Red Rocks is such a great mod, because the textures look really amazing, and it's only a texture overhaul. So again, go to my Discord to search for the mod, or any other mirror if someone has it, and download that mod. Then a mod which has been put offline also for quite a long time actually, but it's been put back online already on a different mod page if I'm not mistaken. It's Fidosa Rum, my best choice for grass, so download that version as well for Fidosa Rum. Then download Enhanced Vanilla Trees, download the main file only. I do have downloaded the billboards, but this main new file, which has been uploaded on 25th of August 2019, now can generate a lot for itself, if I'm not mistaken. So it can generate the appropriate LUTs and billboards for the options you're going to pick. So in this case, only download the main version for Enhanced Vanilla Trees from another trees mod, and that is 3D trees, to make the title more confusing. We're only going to pick the plants because the official title is Skyrim 3D Trees and Plants, but we're going to pick the plants only, and also open this page for the patch files. So you want to scroll a little bit down, and you don't want to download the main file, you want to download this file, 3D plants only. There is a billboards part, but don't download this because else you will have billboards for 3D trees, the mod, and we don't have that, so that's what's going to look really weird. And the thing is, we're going to use Enhanced Vanilla Trees over 3D trees because Enhanced Vanilla Trees has way better LUTs. So okay, so download only 3D plants, but from here, from this patches page, you want to download the 3D plants yes cut. So this is a patch file, download that version as well. And then we have left Skyrim 3D landscapes. Click on files. You only want to have the main file, not the ground covers, even while they look very cool. We have our ground covers already with the Skyrim 2019 texture pack, which looks, in my opinion, just a little bit better. So download the 3D landscapes main file and download the 3D landscape billboards for LUT generation. And then last but not least, we do have some landscape fixes for grass mods. Download it here. Download the main file and download cutting room floor locations as an optional file. The problem is this alternate start law locations will not work because the mod random alternate start has been renamed to, what is it called nowadays? Random alternate start reborn. Yeah, it's called reborn and not live another life. So this does not work anymore, and as far as I can see, there's no patch for the new random alternate start. So download those files and then we can continue installing them with number 5, and that is not Obsidian Mountain Fox because we have Obsidian weathers already. It's going to be Red Rocks, so you need to get that file from my Discord channel, then press OK and then activate Red Rocks. Number 7 is the Phytosebrum mod, and this comes with a lot of options, which I saw just when I did record this part already. I'm going for the packed version. This is, by the way, your taste. If you prefer the standard season, which you can see for Tundra and Rift and all, that's the vanilla. But if you like a little bit of a more green Skyrim, which I do, I go for spring season. Here also I pick spring, but if you're unsure, just pick in both cases vanilla. Here what we want is, I thought pretty much nothing because these will install landscape textures, but we already have them. Green LUTs is not needed. Because we already have installed so much for that already. We're not using Skyrim 3D trees and plants, we're only using 3D plants, so I'm not going to use this. And let's see, select this option if you want Skyrim and plants, Springfield plants. I'm going to leave this blank because I'm not really sure if it's going to cause any issues if we don't have the 3D trees but only the 3D plants. And here, this I also leave blank, and as you can see here, includes HD3 LUT and recommended if no tree mod is used. But we have 3 mods, and that is Enhanced Vanilla Trees. Click on Next. For this, normally I would pick Dense, but in my opinion, it's a little bit too much system, has a little bit too high impact on your system performance, and the reason for that is, or at least the example for that is, I have an i7-9700K GTX 1080 Ti and 16 gigs of DDR4 high-speed RAM, but I still have a little bit of FPS drop when I pick Dense. So for that, I would suggest you pick Eli's Cut because it's probably the best, best pick for this, and to still have good stability and good FPS. Then click on Next. I want a dense landscape, that's one thing I want, and I click Next. 2K quality is fine for me, 2K full, and then just install Phytosebrum. Great. Then click again on the next mod, which is Enhanced Vanilla Trees, the mod itself, and it comes also with a lot of options, it seems, nowadays. Sorry about that. We have the post-processing version because we're using an EMB. Then click on Next. Here's the thing, Enhanced Vanilla Trees now has more options than ever. It has lush trees and even more custom trees, but the thing is, I'm not really sure how the billboards can handle this, even while the billboard should be generated for the specific choice in this mod. I still going for the regular Enhanced Vanilla Trees, else if the billboards are not being generated correctly or the mod just doesn't really have custom billboards for these options, it looks a little bit weird in transition. It's not game breaking or it's not crashing your game or anything, but it looks a little bit weird because you can see a transition in distant trees sometimes when you're approaching them. The LUTs go into the real 3D models, and then yeah, it looks a little bit weird. So that's the reason why I just pick Enhanced Vanilla Trees, the regular one. Click on Next. I'm going to recommend you use this Enhanced Tree Clutter and Firewood Textures. Not sure if we're going to overhaul them, but just pick them anyway. And for the rest, I don't pick anything because we have not installed Skyrim Flora Overhaul and we don't have these mods, or I don't want these options. So then click Next. Okay, the thing is, pre-generated LUTs are only if you're not using SSE Login, but we're going to use SSE Login, so that's why we need billboards then. So select that option, then click on Install. And for that case, we're not going to use the custom billboards. I did download them, but they're not needed. So let me show you that. Let's see. No, I didn't even download them. Okay, that's great. Then the next mod would be 3D plants. From 3D trees and plants, only the plants. Then set this as your data directory. And then wait for it to be installed. And then we also want the LUTs from there. Else you also have these weird transitions when you're approaching an area with plants, which you can see from a distance. And then when the 2D LUT is being changed to the 3D model, if that looks a lot different, then it just looks really weird. So, okay, the billboards, then click manual, set this as your data directory, and then press OK. Great, then check this box. Now we have the landscape fixes for grass mods to fix some of the clipping issues we have. Then we do have the alternate start, but we're not going to install them because it's not compatible with the new random alternate start. And then play cutting room floor locations as a patch file for this, set the data directory, and then press OK. Alright, what we want to do now is we want to drag and drop random alternate start reborn at the bottom of our load order. And what I suggest you're going to do is open now Mod Organizer as an administrator, because else it might be that you cannot run SSE Login. So how to do this is to right click on the icon and either run as administrator, or you can open up the location and just run the executable as administrator. Both should be fine. For some reason, I am a guy who always go to the executable itself and run as an administrator. And now you shouldn't have any error when you run the SSE Login. So click SSE Login, click on Run, and let's see what it is going to say. And if the thing with SSE Login is it can detect when ESP load order here on the right side is incorrect. So if, an example, a file which require a master file and that master file is being loaded before that file, then it can generate it and it will say I cannot run because that load order needs to be fixed. So that's a great tool for us to run at the end, and that's the reason why I normally run this only at the end, so it can automatically fix any incorrect load orders for us. But now I also suggest to run it so we are sure that there is no problems with distant terrain and with LUTs and with billboards. And we're safe to continue from that point. So what we're going to do now, we're going to generate LUT, and then I'm going to go with you in game to check with you that everything is sure and all the LUT is fine. Because to be honest, it's been a year ago since I've done this entire process and things have changed. So I want to check myself in Skyrim Special Edition if everything is okay. Okay, what you want to do now is scroll all the way down, and to LUT generation here on the last part, there is a handy link, and there we can compare the settings from this page. So let's do it like this. And we need to select every checkbox here because we want to generate distant terrain and LUTs for everything here. Okay, this should be the recommended settings for the 2K version. That's object lots, build, atlas, checked, they're both checked. The size is 8K by 4K, and you do have an 8K option here, but it's not needed. 1K for the max texture size. Let's see, the UV range is 1.5, which you can select here. And you want to check 3 slot, of course, and we want to set the lot brightness on -3. So make sure you change those settings, because I already did run SSE Loggen and I corrected these settings, but you probably have not. Then you can click on generate, and let's first wait a couple of seconds to see there is no problem, and SSE Loggen is not going to whine that any plugins are placed incorrectly. And if not, that means we can now wait, and don't close the program. It will say automatically once it's finished that you can close it, and that's not done yet. You will see 3 slot here, but that's not everything. There's a lot more which need to be generated. So we can now pick up a cup of coffee or something, and see you guys in 10 to 15 minutes. Alright, so once you see this message, lot generator finished, you can close this application. Well, let's just follow that instruction. But now it means that the lot has been generated and it's still in this folder, override folder. So what we want to do here is simply what you can do is just right click on it, create mod, and name it something like SSE lots or something, or generated lots. And I press OK. And now let's double check, but the file should have been here in the file tree. So activate that mod, and what we want to do now is check the game if this is actually looking good, and it's going to be pretty exciting for me as well, because it's been a very long time since I've checked it myself. So I'll see you guys in game. Let's start it now, and yeah, see you in a minute. Alright, welcome in game. What I usually do is open the console command, type in tdetect, in the hope that this nasty wolf is not going to see us. We type in TGM to have God mode, and type in TCL to have collision off. Alright, and as you can see, when we type in TCL, the characters are bugged, but that's okay. What we want to see now is that the tree lots I should say, so the distant terrain, looks actually good, and we don't have any weird pop-up when we're approaching these trees. So let's hope everything is fine. It looks good so far. And we also want to see that distant terrain is also looking good. And as you can see, there's a little bit of pop-up there, but it's not super disturbing. And if you would have the incorrect lot files, then it looks really weird. An example, if you would use the 3D tree slots, this is going to look a lot weirder. But so far it looks pretty smooth, and also the distant terrain looks great, to be honest. Nothing weird, no weird chopped up in half lots, and if we were using 3D trees, the lots would look a lot more uglier, but now we have selected Enhanced Vanilla Tree, so everything is fine, to be honest. It's looking great, and as you can see, there is the pop-up, which happens, but this is something from Skyrim itself. You can't avoid that, really. And it means when we see the pop-up, what you see all the way there in the distance are 2D images, the billboards. And nowadays it's been there are experiments of 3D lots being actually used, but for me it's not really such a big issue, because normally you're walking at ground level, and yeah, you have dense forests and also. But to give you a little bit of an explanation, as you saw there in the distance, it means that the 2D image is being transferred to the 3D model. So this 3D tree model, it's always a bad coincidence, 3D tree model is being loaded, and let me show you that one more time how that's looking. But again, when you're walking at ground level, normally it shouldn't be bothering you that much. But anyway, distant terrain looks good, the billboards look good, the transition looks good, the Obsidian Mountain Fog looks great as well. So yeah, that means we're good to go for the next part, and we're safe now. I think we had the hardest behind us, except for the EMB, maybe because that seems to be causing sometimes issues for people. But for now on, we can continue modding.